Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy Tuesday. Happy March. It's March 1st. It is March 1st.
It is March 1st. Yeah, I put my calendar up a date early. That's why I was confusing myself. It is March 1st. Yay! It's March already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, March already. It's crazy. Where does the time go? Maybe we'll have to ask them that. Oh, lots of chatter.
Yeah, exactly. Where does time go?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, hello.
Hello. We are
We're two
two
psychic
psychic
moms.
moms. And I am Tammy Langowski. You can find me tammysintuitive.com, and I am on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is Tammy's Intuitive Services. And I'm just new to TikTok, so if you want to check that out for some clairaudient convos, I just did a really fun one with my kitty cat. So you can find me there, and Tammy's Channel Chats, I think, is my other YouTube. That was the other thing I was going to say. So available for sessions. You can reach me through my website, tammysintuitive.com, on my contact form.
I will have to check out your TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic. I point to it behind me. I hope everybody knows that's what I'm doing. And I can be found at juliehawkins.com or bizpsychic.com. And I pretty much just kind of hang out and do this now and readings, and so private readings. So that's what I like doing. That's what
I'm
happy doing. So
yay for you. Okay.
Questions.
Yes.
We want to have so many questions.
Yeah, so as you probably know by now, if you've been watching us, we like to come on and give some channeled responses to any questions you send us. So please do put them in the comments, and we can respond to them in our future videos. So the one that we have for today, I will just read it here, is this person says, this viewer says, I have seen a lot of YouTube videos recently about global food shortage because of I'm sorry, it's in purple, so I can't read it that well. Because of oil price, transportation, and shortage of fertilizer. The farmers can't get fertilizer to grow fruits and vegetables. I don't want to focus these negative issues, but do we really need to stock food and supplies to prepare for those shortages? So this is the main part of the question. Let's see. Yeah, so her questions are, do we need to worry about it? Do you recommend to stock food and supplies in advance? So thank you for the question, first of all.
So I can't claim ownership of this, and it's probably been around a gazillion years, but we say, stop worrying and start wondering, which is what you're doing. So let the worry go and be prepared. I will just tell you personally, before we get into that, I never had an emergency. I mean, I had like emergency water and first aid stuff because we're in earthquake territory. So I've always had that, but now I have like, 3 or 4 days of meals and water and a camping stove, and I have all that stuff. And I'm like, it's weird for me to acknowledge that, but it's okay to be prepared. So that's what they're saying. It's okay to be prepared. It's okay to have extras of things on hand. And yes, shortages will come and go. Earth is in a very transitional time. It's chaos out here. It's chaos. That's what they keep saying to me. It's just chaos. And it's going to continue to be some of that until we can pull it together as a human race to focus on what's really most important. So stockpiling, we don't really want to encourage anybody to stockpile or to hoard, extras, and being prepared, that's okay. Having those emergency meals, yeah, that's okay. But if we deplete our food supply, stockpiling isn't probably going to help. It's probably just not going to help in the long run. then there'll be people banging at your door with guns trying to get your stockpile. I mean, the movies really, I don't watch zombie movies, but those movies are, I think there's some reality to that. So we would say, focus your energy on getting your supply as to what you think you would need in an emergency for a week, 2 weeks, whatever you feel comfortable with. But in the long run, focus your energy on doing the things to change the problem, rather than go with the flow of the problem and go with fear. And there are a lot of people doing that. And so we say, hop on that bandwagon and see what you can do to really help change the atmosphere of fear and me first, to let's help each other and let's help our planet and let's come into a new era. We are, oh, I got goosebumps. We are at a tipping point. There's just really a tipping point, and we can either tip to the dark side, oh man, or we can come back and really embrace everybody and come from a perspective of, I mean, if you can't love everybody, at least have compassion, right? And really come from that perspective instead. So we'll see if anything more comes up. I'm going to pass it over to Tammy and see what Tammy's guides say. But for now, we think that's the gist of that message.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. I think I feel like I'm in agreement with everything said. So let's just see if that was a great message. If there's anything from my guides on that, and guides, should we be stocking up on supplies, just tuning into them a little bit more here, stocking up on supplies, and if there was a food shortage, and is that something we need to be concerned about? Okay, I hear that it's not something to be concerned about, although it is a good idea, because why not have some with you than nothing at all? And we do agree, they're saying with what Julie said too in her guides, that even if you have a certain amount stored that makes you feel comfortable, that we're in agreement with that. However, we do not want to see the panic energy that started happening, as we know, when there was shelter in place, at least in our area, but many areas, right, where the shelves were disappearing of food, couldn't get the toilet paper thing. This was like, well, they're saying a mass hysteria. I mean, it was, and we don't want to see that. That's not a good energy, obviously. So we would say, do what's comfortable for you, but do it without, like you said, no fear involved in this when in your decision. Whatever you're taking, you're just thinking, might be a good idea for me to, to have some things for myself, but let's keep fear out of the equation. Now, I realize this question didn't necessarily mean that somebody was fearful, but we are just saying that, just kind of adding that in. So to the question, is it necessary right now to do this? No, is what I'm hearing. Although, again, to your comfort level, to have some of it, because we also know hoarding, like was mentioned, hoarding is a whole negative energy of stuff. I mean, a lot of people hoard on different levels, can be a little bit, could be a lot. And so that in itself, as well as the fear, is not necessarily something you want to be working from. That's why we caution anybody going out and they just went like that. They can't see my arms because I'm on virtual, but scooping everything towards them like this, and they're showing me walking out of the store, like that. That is based on certainly coming from a very, gosh, guys, what are you trying to tell me? I know what you're saying. You could say egocentric. It's very much about me. It's not about sharing and all that. Should you come to a place again where there is something like this, I'm not saying that's going to happen. We're not going there for that. But please be considerate of other people. And we know that it was frustrating when we saw all that happening and people just taking way too much than they needed to before they started rationing some things and putting some, which should have happened. And I think the lesson's been learned with that, I would think, if it happens again. So yeah, I'm getting basically not to worry about it, but to your comfort level to gather anything that feels good to you.
We 100%. So I think we both concur on that.
Yeah.
So what I did also hear a couple of things. And one I wasn't too happy to hear, but I'll share that in a moment. So the first thing I heard was garden if you can. And that's grow your own vegetables. I was all of a sudden I was looking at my fruit tree, which has like 10 oranges on it. It's not very abundant, but it's the most oranges I think I've ever had in the 10 years that it's been here. And so they're saying, if you have the ability to do that, even if you live somewhere where you don't have yard, acreage or any place, land to do that, you can still grow things. The other thing I tapped into a little bit more, so maybe they can say a little bit more about this, is for as long as I've been doing this, they've always said we have more time, not a lot more time, but we have 5 years, 10 years, before we reach that tipping point. And oh, goosebumps. Today they said we're at that tipping point. And it's we're there. We either make really substantive changes or it's going to be one of those ugly sci-fi movies. And, for people who are of a certain age, I'll just say, around retirement age, whatever that is, or towards the end of baby boomers, it's not, we can help that, but it's not going to be our long-term fight. It will be our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. And so we won't see the worst of it, but the worst of it may come. And we hope people like, Greta Thunberg, I don't know if I said her name right, Thunberg.
Oh, why can't you say it?
Greta Thunberg. And she's a young generation. She's, I think, 19 or 20 now. And, those are the people who are like, yeah, we need to get on this because this is our time, our planet. And we're tired of you older people mucking it up and not paying attention to it. So we hope there's more of that. So encourage your younger ones to really to get to work on that. It is we're at that tipping point now. And I honestly didn't think I would ever say that or hear those words. I thought we would get there before we heard that tipping point. And so I'm disappointed, I guess I'll say, personally.
Yeah, that's a bit of sad news, but
and there's just so much selfishness and fear, and we're just I don't know maybe it was last week or the week before, I was talking about having a reset, and I didn't mean a personal reset. I meant they meant and were saying to me a global reset where the planet just it's not that it dies off, but big stuff happens where you have to get it together and say, wow, we really did muck this up and we need to change it. And now is the time. So now is the time. Oh my, okay.
Yeah. Well,
so hopefully that answers. And we like to see, we would like to say that there needs to be a little bit of both attention to oneself and attention to the outside, those around you. Right?
Yeah.
You're a reflection of what goes on outside, and it's microcosm, macrocosm. They're reflections of each other. So pay attention and do it. Do your part, do more than your part, get others to do more than their part, the ones who are willing. Right.
Yeah. And positive energy and visualizations really can help also, in addition, just keeping your mindset positive, yourself happy, whatever happy is for you, because that makes a big difference in our world, so
It does. And we also need action. So we need a combination of the two,
exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
But both, I mean, one without the other, you know, thoughts without action are sort of daydreams, right? Action without thought can be chaos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Thank you for that. I'm sure that didn't come from me. So let's do both.
Agreed.
Oh, now I'm a little sad, you know.
Well, maybe we need to perk it up a bit then.
Look it up. So
Let's see this.
before we go to perky, I'll transition to the odd.
Okay.
You know, we used to talk about our cats a lot, right? And I guess the cats have been status quo until here we are. We had a few days of warmth, and everything thinks it's spring, right? So so the plants started blooming and allergies started happening. I'm like, had a headache. I'm like, do I have a brain tumor or do I have allergies? So I started taking, allergies and pills, and sure enough, then it went away. Thank you. And the answer back, I'm like, but my favorite use on them is Lysol. They do not like Lysol, and it's cheaper and safer than the poison that doesn't seem to work. And then there was a blooming of fleas.
Oh. Yeah, I have to pay attention to that. My cats too, when they're indoor.
From my legs, and there's some on my hands too, but I didn't try to count them because they were even in clusters.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh, I just know that everybody needed to have flea stuff put on them. And that's just not so easy on the feral ones. They're like, do not think you're going to touch me or hold me or grab me or cage me.
Yeah.
So it was tricky, but and I even went to Petco and got some of the stuff that it's a pill, but I grind it up and put it in their food. But the one who needs to have, not the most, she's just one that needs to have it, would eat it this morning. Of course, right?
Yeah, naturally.
So I'm just working on them.
Challenging for you.
But the one who goes out, I crunched his up yesterday in a pill and gave it to him, and he seems to have not. Doesn't seem to be.
Oh, good.
You know how they turn around, they're like, "Ah, nah, 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 ah, nah, nah, nah."
Yeah, exactly.
I just demonstrate that for you.
Pretty much how it looks.
And how it doesn't really sound like that, but anyway, yeah. So he's even stopped doing that, but it's so we think it's spring, but then it's going to rain. I think Wednesday and Thursday, which we really need. But Tammy is all dressed in spring and coming into the Irish mode, and I just loved it. And so that was from the what is the phrase? It's probably Shakespearean. From the something to the from the sublime to the idiot. I don't know how it goes. I can't remember that. Maybe that's me. I don't know. Because he wants to talk about fleas, but apparently I needed to talk about fleas because I have mites all over my legs.
Yeah, it's coming into flea. It's coming into flea season, and as we know, people who do have animals, if you have indoor, well, cats especially, if you have indoor cats, they can still get them because we bring them in, not knowing a lot of times.
I'm sure it's not me.
No, well, you've got some that are outside, right?
I have one outside. Well, they're all kind of technically can go outside
because of their,
because I have a catio, and even though they can't get out into the yard, there's dirt underneath, and
they'll still.
I mean, they'll all get them. So, but oddly enough, one of my cats, she really likes to be like right here at night, and she like gives me a shoulder massage, and she never seems to get those problems. I did put flea stuff on her, but she's like, well, I don't know why you did that because I'm pretty sure I don't have fleas. And I'm like, if you're going to sit up here, you're getting that stuff.
Yeah, I know. So true.
But so how are your kids, your babies?
They're doing good. We need nail trimming. We need to get their nails trimmed. My husband holds them. My daughter or son clips them.
It's
And
definitely-
it's needed because I'm hearing them tap, tap, tap all around the house. Poor things. And I've got one that's his nails kind of go more, that curve, not excessive, but enough more than the other one. He's the one.
and it's a two-person job for sure. I mean, I could probably trim my ferals if somebody else would just, but I can't. So I hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's you either take them in. I mean, especially if you're by yourself, you either can have, you either find a way to do it, or you take them in, have them trimmed.
I can't even find a way to take them in, Tammy.
Yeah, see that? Well, then you may not be able to trim them.
It's the one time, twice I took Theo in, he's just such a sweetest little baby. One of these days I'm going to put up a slideshow. I have to do a slideshow.
Mhm.
And I thought he was going to just jump out of his skin. He was just so traumatized by the whole event. I mean,
Wow.
he has finally figured out how to jump up back and get back into my bedroom. It for a long time, he would jump out the bedroom window, and
Mhm.
there's a little ledge there for them to jump on into the catio. And then he'd get down and he'd be like, "Oh, I don't know how to get back up." And he would scream at the back door for me to let him in.
Yeah.
I'm like, so he's sweet, but not a whole lot of,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
but his sweetness makes up for the lack of
Mhm.
intelligence.
Yeah, we have one kind of like that. We've got the very smart cat. I think I mentioned before where my guides popped in. He has a high IQ. And it was so funny because I would never ever have thought that. If anything, but thought, oh, he's pretty smart. But no, he has a high IQ, and he does. And then our other one, same thing, sweet. But I mean, Jake knows how to paw open a door. Obviously the push. He even can paw it open. Doesn't know how to close it after himself. That would be really nice, unfortunately. And then our other one, will just meow at the door. Sometimes he bulldozes it down because he's a big boy, but he doesn't know how to, even if the door is open a little bit, if he's stuck inside the room, he doesn't know how, like my other cat knows how to paw it open, literally open it. He doesn't. He just will circle around like, how do I get out of here? Bless his heart. But I know that Jake has a high IQ, so it's the way it is.
Well, out of 8 cats, I probably have, well, Felix, who has a high IQ, and then, a couple who are reasonably, the rest of them are just normal. I mean,
Mhm.
he's
Mhm.
the only one that is really that smart. And, but
Yeah, some are just more than others, just like people.
just like, exactly.
People.
But, I love them all for different reasons.
Exactly. They're all super, super lovable. You gotta watch that. You gotta watch my video, Julie.
All
It
right.
really is fun. Yeah, I'm just saying because it's fun. Jake is the star of the show for sure.
Okay, this is the TikTok, right?
Yeah, it's I did put it on, I believe it is on my Instagram and my Facebook also. Yes, it should be on there. So I've just got to get good at knowing when to stop TikTok. So then you'll get like 3 minutes. Something.
2 minutes or something, right?
It's 3. I think it's 3.
Oh.
But yeah.
I don't even want to get started with any of them. I don't want to watch them. I don't want to do them. I'm even bored with TV. Let me just tell you. I think I need a vacation to the happiest place on earth.
Oh, Disneyland? I was gonna say Disneyland or Hawaii. I don't know.
Well, they're very, very different vacations, but
Yeah. Everybody's going to be getting the bug, right? Everybody's going to be getting that bug to go travel. And if you do, just do it. Do it on any level that you're able to do. But if you are feeling that nudge, and spring is coming and mask mandates are dropping. Is it tomorrow, I believe, for us in our Santa Clara County?
we're the last ones, I think. And
We are, yeah. I think it drops tomorrow. And I don't know, I'm still going to be pretty careful. I mean, I'm not just like thinking, everything's gone, but
Everybody I know said the same thing because it's not like it disappeared. It's
No.
uh,
Yeah.
anyway.
So just as
Yeah,
careful as we can be.
exactly. And so I just want to hear what they're saying about that because we originally they're saying we said it's going to be 3 years and we are in year 3. We actually just in I guess at the beginning of the year started year 3.
Mhm.
And they're saying don't be fooled by the lull. It's you're going to have, remember earlier, maybe a few months ago we talked about this, that there's going to be highs and lows, and your guide said the same thing.
Yeah.
And the highs and lows aren't going to be as bad as the highs and lows previously, but it's still around. It's not it's not going anywhere. It's going to turn into really what your flu is, where you get a flu shot if that's what you choose to do. We say, why not? Why would why would you not? And the same will be this for COVID. Why would you not? And so that's how we see it turning out. There still will be peaks and valleys of this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
even though it's come down, we're in the home stretch, which is good. I guess that means the end, right? The home stretch. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's and I do remember when we were asking about it last too. I remember my guide saying, I don't know when this is sometime before, but I was getting something about March. And now I know that's what it is that mask mandates probably were dropped because March was highlighting to me. And I knew it was something better, something that was going to either ease down or, but yeah, I was thinking that the other day and I thought, oh, okay, that's what it
Exactly.
was. So,
You
but yeah, and we have to remember, media covers things for a certain period of time. Then you notice it starts to wane a little bit, drop off. We know there are people still passing and transitioning from COVID in hospitals and things like that. So again, not to make a scare of it, but just to understand that, we are kind of just we go with what we see. And if we're not seeing a lot of us can buy into the fact that, oh, it's gone. I know it's not. I mean, I know everybody knows it's not, but I would just say to pay attention to that a little bit and think about that,
there's still those that are at higher risk than others, and that's
Right.
we've said all that. So yes, we
Yep.
agree with you. Yes. In March, you're right. March was I remember you saying that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad that that's here. Let's hope it stays. If I try to look again, I mean, at least, and again, I guess it makes sense, but I am getting at least through the summer, we're looking pretty good. Again, I say it makes sense because obviously fall is sometimes when, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would agree. And it's
my sign for little peaks and valleys.
yeah. I agree with you. Something's barely bumping for me for August, and I'm not sure what that is yet. Sometimes I just get more like a time frame than what it is around the subject.
Yep, me too.
Really? Okay, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if something is bumping then. And then I don't know, we may be doing okay till even toward the end of the year. That's a snapshot what I get right now, but that's what I'm seeing. So something in August. I don't know what's going on in August. I even saw a little gray energy there.
I just want to take my vacation at the beginning of May. I want to rent my rental unit in April and go off in May.
Good for you.
It doesn't have to be long, 3 or 4 days down to
Yeah.
Disneyland, and
Fun.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
And after this thing, this is what I really need. I just, it was one thing after it's, we were just talking about it before. Any construction really is like this. You think everything's, oh, I bought this is going to work and this is going to work. And then you're like, no, this doesn't work and this doesn't work. And all those finishing things there's always problems. And so.
Oh, I know. Or sometimes you might even look back on it. I've heard this so many times. You get a project done that you picked out and did. Then afterwards it's like, oh, I didn't really think about this one thing, or I wish this had been smaller or this bigger, or, I hear that so often from people. And I think that's, so
yeah,
you just got to go with the flow. when you're in construction and having
I
things
realized
done.
how much the stress this put on me this time. Because yeah, anyway, we'll just leave it at that. It was a stressful event for me, and it's almost over, and
Yay.
I'm gonna go celebrate at Disneyland.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm gonna go do so.
I love that. Perfect.
All right. Anything else? What's our positive? I don't know. That felt really positive to me. But if you have a positive,
Disneyland feels positive to me. Any positive statements and anything we want to share with everybody, guys? They always go back to love. They said, just that, love is good. Give love a try. Okay, they're having some fun. Oh, there we go. Yay! Disneyland. I need to make another trip back there sometime too.
oh,
You're making me think here, Julie.
these are copies, but they work at the moment. So
Cute. Cute.
yes. Anyway,
I'd love it if you kept changing it. You had even more there that we didn't know and you kept changing them.
if we have one more, and they're the winter ones with the pom poms on them. Well, that didn't look good at all. But
Well, when you're going to Disneyland, we will expect you to be wearing your Mickey ears here
yeah,
for sure before you're going, in honor of.
it's a beautiful. It's good. Not a beautiful day. I mean, it might be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, but it's going to be a gorgeous day out today. It seemed hotter to me yesterday than it said, but
Yeah.
it's going to be beautiful today. And I say, go out and dig a vegetable garden or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do something fun, exactly. If you've got the great weather and all, just get outdoors and I'm gonna say, well, there's one picture I just posted actually. I took another Filoli trip over the weekend, and I have some daffodil pictures that are really beautiful that I posted. And I'm tuning into the one. And if you go and you look at them, well, it's on my personal page. But anyway, I think you can see that, Julie.
I'll go in.
There is one that's very, remind me, of course, elementals, because it was very, the light shows through the petals and everything. I'm tuning into that vibration. Well, first I'm hearing we were there, meaning the elementals of fairies and such. No surprise. I think Philolis, well, they are filled with them. And Filoli Gardens is what I'm speaking of in Woodside, California. It's a lovely place. We spoke about it either our last one or the one before. But anyway, so I want to see what this daffodil says to me, because I can see her in my mind's eye when I took her picture. Oh, okay. She makes me feel very emotional.
Wow.
Her petals were just, she perked up for that picture. And she shined for that picture is what I feel like. To capture it, like, and so this is how I see her in my mind's eye, like she's posing for it, this way, like, and this brightness is coming around her, and she wanted to show that with us and share that with us. And I have not tuned in since I've taken that picture, so this is fun for me just to hear what she's doing. But she wanted to shine very brightly, and of course the sun is coming through. And I will next time, because I don't have it up on my desktop, I'll put it on my desktop and share it. I think I can share now. We'll find out. And show it to you, because I don't know if I
don't know if sometimes some things don't scale right for virtual background.
Oh yeah, right, because it's so big. I'm going to do one thing really quickly here. I don't know if here she is. I don't know if you can, I mean, you're going to get the idea.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm trying to get it just right so it's more in my.
Oh yeah, you don't want that as your background, but boy, is that beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm going to go like this, yeah, that my other picture's on the bottom, but you can kind of get an idea, right?
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's really pretty, isn't she? And she just, it's like she was loving showing off. That's what I would almost say.
And I also got some angelic light around.
Yes, exactly.
I never get that stuff. I'm not general, but that's my guide, so they're telling me that. Yeah,
and this was one more really pretty one.
Oh, beautiful.
See it. These are obviously close-ups that I took of
Daffodils, they it makes me a little bit, not sad, but disappointed that they don't bloom more often and more
I
regularly.
know.
They're
Yeah, it's true. They're so sunny. They're so bright. And what they told me is it's God's light. They just said God's light. I think
It is,
daffodils are like that, you know?
Yep.
Source light, whatever you want to call it. But you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
That was a perfect note to end on. That was beautiful.
good, good, good.
So
All
go out
right.
and find some God's light today.
Yeah,
Light, right?
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
And send us your questions. Thank you, Mika. It's public, so I can say her name, and Daphne and Rudy, who is out taking pictures too. And just
Yeah.
thank you for your support. We just so appreciate it. So
We do. We do.
these are the kinds of questions we want to hear from you. So keep them coming.
Yay.
All right, dear ones, we will see you next Tuesday.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.